Let's get started. Jim Montgomery, you fired.
Yep, the Bruins pulled a big old Vince McMahon on him and gave him the big old, "You're fired." And I think it was needed.
I say it was needed also because the Boston Bruins, since that choke job against the Panthers,
You're not wrong.
has been playing mediocre hockey.
Mediocre.
I understand a young team like the Blackhawks have to build their way back into their dynasty era. And I understand that a few teams are going through that, but you're the Boston Bruins. You had Florida on the ropes 2 years ago, and you choked it away. 1 year later, you play the Panthers again, and you choke that away. I think those two losses led to Jim Montgomery's firing.
Well, it doesn't help. We've gone basically 500 this season to start with. I mean, let's be real about it. We've had goalie inconsistency, and that's the nice way of putting it.
Oh, yeah.
We end up letting Olmark get away and go to Ottawa. We just haven't found our offensive groove yet. And, you know, it starts with coaching.
It does.
Listen, the Bruins have these star-powered roster like the Edmonton Oilers, yet the Edmonton Oilers, even in games without McDavid, have at least kept a winning record.
Yeah, and again, there's our biggest problem is, yeah, we have offense. Yeah, we have goaltending. It's just been too inconsistent. And when we haven't been able to throw down with our stars, we've basically been shut down.
But I also do want to say, like, I don't want to underestimate Columbus at all, but it's just Columbus is near dead last in the league in defense. They have one of the worst defensive teams. They have a pretty good offensive team, but defense is non-existent in Columbus, just like it is in Cleveland for both the Cavaliers and the Browns, just like it is in Cincinnati, just like the outfield for the Cleveland Indians.
Just like it is in Dallas with the Cowboys.
Just like it is with every team in Ohio, except maybe Ohio State, there is no defense.
Well, Ohio State's going to get a test of that on Saturday. We'll talk more about that later.
That's actually one of the games I have listed for our picks, by the way.
And that's one of the games we're going to cover.
The Jets.
Oh, dear God. It took them long enough to get their head out of their ass on this one.
Save the Jets. We got someone coming for that.
The Winnipeg Jets?
Oh, what are you talking about Winnipeg? What are you talking about Winnipeg for? Chris Jericho's not here.
Because nobody
cares. They're the best team in the league.
True.
Because they're the best team in the league.
Remember, Ryan McCoffey's only a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was his favorite Muppet. The Winnipeg Jets took a 5-0 loss to the defending champs, Florida Panthers, and then come back on Tuesday night and beat the Panthers 6-3 in their home.
That was in Florida?
No, the 6-3 win for the Jets happened in Winnipeg. The 5-0 loss happened in Florida.
Yikes!
That's a swing.
Is Florida sitting up top their division?
The Florida Panthers are first in the Atlantic with a 12-6-1 record, just behind them.
I may as well push. Since we started with Jim Montgomery, and since he's here, I may as well push this button. Our hockey talk this morning is powered by SeatGeek. Go to some games, go to some concerts, but use the code Snowman when you find the seat that you want, and you get $20 off of your first order. NHL starts our broadcast this morning, and matter of fact, Droid, go through the divisions. How many games are on the docket tonight? May as well.
2 nights. Wednesday, November 20th, you have 2 classics in the Hurricanes and Flyers, with the Flyers finally finding their footing in terms of defense. And then you also got the Golden Knights and Maple Leafs, both 11-win teams. Both only have 5 to 6 losses in Jesus Christ, in full time, and then you have 2 overtime losses each. Your blowout of the night is going to be the Dallas Stars versus the San Jose Sharks. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. You got the Nashville Predators versus the Seattle Kraken.
Y'all want to pick them? Y'all want to pick them? We may as well just make this a full hockey segment before we go to break. Y'all want to pick them? Yes, no.
I mean, I think I know where we're going to be going.
Droid's leaning no. Droid's leaning no.
I mean, come on.
If this was yesterday, maybe.
But not tonight.
But we only have one good game tonight, so no.
I mean, I'm looking at tomorrow's.
However,
and it's going to be better if you ask me.
I might call Leafs Golden Knights tonight on the Grilled Sportscast channel.
Okay. Are they hooked up with us now? They're not. Droid, shame on you.
Yeah.
They're not hooked
Shut up, LeBron.
And we'll hear more of that later.
But another thing I wanted to talk about was the Washington Capitals going from a dead last team last year to the #1 team in the Metro after dethroning the New Jersey Devils' long reign of the Metro so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Capitals, led by Alexander Ovechkin, who is looking to become the greatest goal scorer to ever touch the ice.
He ain't. I'm old. I'm gonna mess with Droid on that point every chance I get. But yeah, Ovechkin is slowly. How many goals away is he?
26 to tie, 27 to break it.
27's the magic number. I think
however,
right after the All-Star break.
Dirty play ended up getting Ovechkin injured. He is out with a leg injury for a TBD time. And also, dear Toronto, bleep you, and bleep a whole lot of you. You signed Ryan Reeves.
Hold on a minute. All right. Do it again.
Dear Toronto Maple Leafs, you, and a whole lot of you. You signed Ryan Reeves willingly to your roster. What does he do? Not 5 games in the season? Receive a 5-game suspension.
What?
A 5-game suspension for charging at Darnell Nurse, which actually cut his head open and dripped on the ice.
What?
I'm surprised he got 5 games. It's just...
What?
It's disappointing. Like, what? I'm about to knock some sense into you. But tomorrow,
in there, you can't catch me.
But I, of course, as somebody who grew up on a heavy hitting era in hockey, where hockey was at its all-time physical, the league's getting soft, but also it's getting, how do I say this? It could become lethal at some point with how dirty some of these players are getting. If it was a clean, massive hit in the open ice, I would have been like, yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. If you've seen Nathan McKinnon's reverse hit against the Islanders, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I love seeing hits like that. But what I don't like seeing is blatant plays that are blatantly there to get somebody hurt. Y'all remember when Paul Correa got knocked out on the ice and then came back and scored?
Yes.
Yep.
You do not see that anymore.
No. Because concussion protocol is actually a thing nowadays. Not like they knew what they were doing back in the 90s.
And you will never see that.
Or the 80s for that matter, because there were some hard hits in the 80s. That's when I got into hockey.
The 2000s,
and they were all clean, but they were all very physical.
In the 2000s, man, I remember Joe Thornton, like in the 2015 playoffs, where he had his entire ACL torn and he played with it. He told coach, "Put me in. I am playing the rest of this playoff series with a torn ACL."
That's because Joe Thornton's got that dog in him.
Yep.
And then I believe it was I don't remember his name, but it was a Bruins player who took 3 back-to-back block shots and was limping on the ice and was still making plays.
Let's see. I know it wasn't Pasternak. I know it wasn't Brad.
I think his name was Campbell.
Yeah, I think